Welcome, IEA, to our report from the Illinois Teachers Retirement System of the state of Illinois. My name is Mark Bailey. I am one of your IEA elected trustees on the TRS board. I am also the vice president of the board. This has been an unprecedented year for all of us and our families in IEA. This pandemic has affected the way we teach, the way we support our staff to do their jobs, our families, and the way we interact with one another. The effects of the coronavirus on our membership have been devastating. As of the date of preparing this presentation, 220 of our TRS members have died. The youngest died at the age of 35 in August. Our oldest died at 101 in November. I hope all of you will keep all of our members in your thoughts and prayers as we continue to work through this pandemic. Here are some of the key TRS statistics for the fiscal year 2020. We have assets of almost $55 billion. Our revenue was $6.2 billion. We paid out benefits of over $7 billion, and our investment return is positive despite the steep downturn in the economy due to COVID. As you can see, we still have challenges in our long-term funding status. We will continue to work with the state to make sure that there are improvements in this area. On the right side of this slide, you can see our membership totals for active, inactive, and our benefit recipients. Our average pension for all retirees is a little over $60,000 per year. We have 112,000 members in Tier 1 and 51,000 in Tier 2. Our oldest active member is 81 years old. The average age of a retired member is 72, with an average service credit at retirement of 27 years. Our oldest TRS retiree is an astounding 109 years old. And no, that is not me. At this time, I will turn this presentation over to Stan Rupnick, our acting TRS Executive Director and Chief Investment Officer.
Thank you, Mark. Obviously, over the course of the year, the big challenge facing both the economy and pension systems like us has been the emergence of COVID-19 and the world coming to terms with the pandemic. I think we all heard kind of rumors of the spread of a virus globally early in 2020. As we reached March, and we're looking at the timeline here, March 3rd, there were 4 confirmed cases in the state of Illinois. And our business continuity plan kind of kicked into action at that point. By March 11th, just a span of a week, we were fully remote. Remained remote for quite a while, have rebuilt kind of the return to work over time. But most importantly, when you look at March through December, we were able to fulfill all of our key mission to our members. And by that, we mean we've paid all of our benefits on time and in full. That's over $7 billion that has been paid to our members over the course of that time. There was an increase in retirement claims. I know there's varied reasons for that, but you look at the school situation and remote learning and kind of the back and forth. There was an impact on our membership in terms of an increase in retirement claims, but we did process 3,600 of those during the March to December time period. And most importantly is just our service to our members. 34,000 telephone calls and 15,000 emails. It sounds like a lot. That's a pretty routine number, but we were able to fulfill that service from our remote location. On the investment front, very similar. Obviously, the global economy essentially shut down for a period of time, but we started the year as markets were continuing to swing upward. We started the year with $54.2 billion in assets. The market did continue upward, hit a high on February 19th. From that point forward, though, the shutdown of global economies and just the uncertainty on how the world was going to handle this pandemic really took a toll on markets. In the first quarter of the year, the S&P 500, kind of your wide view of what the U.S. economy and the U.S. stock market, how it performs, was down 20%. TRS also saw a decrease. We'll talk to our defensive positioning a little bit, but we did dip to about 48.5 billion at the end of the March quarter. That's about an 11.8% drop in total assets, and recall that accounts market activity and payments made out of the fund for benefit payments. But for the remainder of the year, there was large-scale government stimulus, both to companies to keep their payrolls intact and to help them deal with forced shutdowns, but also payments to individuals, and that provided a lot of optimism as the year went on. Technology really proved its worth in terms of keeping business rolling and keeping productivity up. Venues like we have right now, a virtual presentation, have become the norm, but that has kept the economy moving in some optimism. And also on the optimistic front, news of vaccines and plans to reopen the economy emerged through the course of the year. But at December 31st, from that low of 48.5 billion, we were at 57.0 billion, a large 17.5% increase from that March 31st number. Looking at the trailing returns, you see the volatility here in the one-year numbers, but I think the important thing is to really focus on the relative stability of that 30-year. You'll see across the last 3 fiscal years that 30-year number is remarkably stable, right around that 8% positive number. Our goal as an investment department is to focus on long-term returns. We know we have varied membership. We know this fund goes in perpetuity, and it's not for us to seek aggressive outsized returns. It's also not to be too conservative. But we've designed an investment portfolio that we believe weathers varied economic environments. That is, we want to participate on the upside, and when the economy is strong, we want to participate. But we also want to protect assets when there are times of challenging. And as the first half of last year proved, there are times of stress that we need to protect assets. To that point, maybe looking at the defensive posturing of the fund, kind of look at that first quarter. TRS's investment return was just short of a negative 10% compared to the stock market indices. Again, the S&P is the most widely viewed, but a negative 20% return. So again, we're not exceeding the market when it's up 20%, but we're also protecting assets on the downside. And how's that relate against peer plans? If you look at the 331, our universe ranking compared to our peer investors, and that's other public pension plans such as TRS, when you look at the long term, we're in the top 10% of those funds. The 10-year number, we're in the top 8%. The 20-year number, we're in the top 11% of all similar plans. So that's kind of our goal, is to continue to focus on that long-term number. And again, overall market cycles continue to perform in line or better than peers. So with that, I will turn it over to Andy Hirschman. He's the chairman of the TRS Board Investment Committee, and he'll provide further commentary.
First off, I'd like to say thank you to you. Delegates to the IARA, this is a difficult moment for educators around our country and in our state. We appreciate your leadership and your service. Thank you for your work. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted us all. TRS has remained diligent in tracking the impact of COVID-19, not only on our investment portfolio, but also our rate of retirements. Regular, constant actuarial studies allow us to monitor the impact of changing membership patterns and trends. We see this also in the teacher retirement surge of the last year. Teacher retirements in 2020 were up over 9% from the previous year, on average 31 more retirees per month. A total of 4,461 retirements in 2020 compared to 4,085 in 2019. To no surprise to anyone, the biggest surges occurred between July and October, after districts made difficult decisions regarding COVID. The largest of these monthly surges included August up 66%, September up 53%. These trends did not come as a surprise, and we were more than prepared to adjust for these changes. Our system and your retirement security remain safeguarded as long as the state of Illinois continues to make its legally required contributions. When thinking of these contributions, it's important to remember these are not just costs, but rather investments, and investments that yield an extremely attractive return. The impact of our pension benefits benefit all of Illinois. There are currently over 276,000 TRS members living in Illinois, totaling and representing over $11 billion in earnings, creating a total economic impact of over $16 billion, with over 111,000 jobs on the TRS payroll. In Illinois, for active members alone, there are over 159,000, with $6.7 billion in earnings and a total economic impact of $9.7 billion, supporting over 67,000 jobs with a payroll of $2.8 billion. In terms of our retired members, that total is over 117,000 living in Illinois, with $4.4 billion in benefits, with a total economic impact of $6.4 billion and a payroll of over 44,000. Truly, we must remember that contributions to the pension system are not just a cost for the state, but truly an investment in our own future. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to my fantastic colleague, Trustee Marcia Buyouts. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. I will be presenting the members buyout section of our presentation, beginning with our automatic annual increase program. Will be offered to retiring Tier 1 members only, starting in January 2019. The current sunset at the end of fiscal year 2024. TRS is asking retired Tier 1 members if they want to participate. Once they've made that decision is irrevocable. Members may elect to give up the current Tier 1 annual increase, which is 3% compounded, for 1.5% not compounded. In exchange, they will receive a lump sum accelerated pension benefit payment. 70% of the monetary difference between the lifetime value of the 3% increase and the 1.5% decrease. Also, in 2019 and 2020, 1,461 Tier 1 members accepted an accelerated payment. 19%, which equals 3,800 retirees per year, have elected to participate. 195 million in payments, which is an average of 133,000. So now we're going to go ahead and go to our next slide. You will notice that the Accelerated Pension Benefit Program, and it is inactive Tier 1 and Tier 2 members, began in September 2019. The current sunset at the end of fiscal year 2024. A one-time irrevocable accelerated pension payment. Members give up any future claims to TRS benefit. The buyout equals 60% of the present value of their lifetime pension benefit. In 2019 and 2020, 1,545 inactive members accepted a buyout. 11%, a total of 14,000, eligible inactive members have elected to participate. 187 million in payments, which is an average of 121,000. Our next presenter for today is Trustee Fred Paranto. So Fred, take over.
Thank you, Marcia. Hello, everyone. My name is Fred Paranto, and I'm on the TRS Board of Trustees, as well as being an economics teacher at Carl Sandburg High School in Orland Park, Region 30. The first topic I'd like to address is the new TRS Supplemental Savings Plan. This is a voluntary plan, but it's an opportunity for you to set up a retirement account that can help supplement your TRS pension once you retire. I want to take a minute and especially urge those teachers who are part of Tier 2, those who started teaching after 2012, to take advantage of this opportunity. Many of you may decide that you don't want to teach until age 67 to reach your full pension, and having retirement money saved in this account will give you extra flexibility to make the best decision for yourself once you near retirement age. This plan will offer you a wide range of different options, and because of TRS's size, our members will end up paying very low fees compared to many competing plans. We anticipate that this plan will go live this year, so keep an eye out for more information coming from TRS or Voya Financial, our plan administrators. Let me stress again, this is completely voluntary, but it's a great opportunity for our members. Another topic we want you to be aware of are some of the challenges to our pension that are out there. First and foremost is, as always, state funding. For the past several years, the state has fully funded TRS by the amount required by statute. This is encouraging, and if this trend continues, our pension plan is on the path to being 90% funded by 2045. But state statutes will require the state to fund higher and higher amounts in coming years, which will stress an already stressed budget. The economic impact of COVID on the state certainly won't help matters. Another potential stressor are reforms that will likely be required to fix inequities caused by the creation of Tier 2. Right now, Tier 2 members are not only fully funding their own pensions, they are contributing to the funding of Tier 1 benefits. This will need to be fixed, and that will add additional stresses to the system. As the state searches for additional funding, one of the perennial ideas raised is to tax all retirement income, including TRS pensions. It's likely that this idea will continue to be floated. Finally, most major attacks on our pension depend upon changing the state constitution to get rid of our pension protection clause. Despite a unanimous decision in the Illinois Supreme Court upholding this protection, it still comes back in many proposals of pension reform. This is my 32nd year of teaching, and it has been like no other year. I want to extend the thanks of the TRS board for everything you do to fight for us through the IEA, and for everything you have done this year in the classroom, going above and beyond for your students. Please reach out to TRS with any questions or comments you have about your pension. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to update you on retirement issues, and enjoy the rest of the convention.